welcome to Slayerfest 98. My name is Zachary Patton-Garcia.
And I'm Ian Carlos Crawford, and joining us today we have two special guests. She is our lovely Slayerfest 98 and My Bloody Judy editor, and the co-host of Why Are We Like This, a Heartstopper podcast,
Ashley Hullett.
Hi, Ashley.
Hello.
And he is the co-host of The Horror Hour.
Hi, Yutaka Tamanaha.
Hi. I'm so glad to have both of you here. Yutaka, I feel like we've been talking for a while, and it's very random that this is the episode that we're having you on for.
Out of necessity.
Yeah. So we are here to discuss Sarah Michelle Gellar's new show, Wolfpack, which Zach and I have been covering episode by episode over at My Bloody Judy. If you want to see us reacting to those episodes, see the joy and the agony in our faces of watching the show. But I'm curious, just before we get into it, Yutaka, what were your thoughts on the series?
Oh, I knew that was happening. Love-hate relationship. I mean, at times I was really invested, but then at other times I was just left baffling by either character decisions or plot. But I mean, I was just happy to see Sarah Michelle Gellar back on my screens and Rodrigo Santoro because he's delicious.
Yeah.
But that was about it.
Fair. Ashley?
Listen, I'm definitely a love-hate because, like, as someone who's a huge Teen Wolf fan, and obviously a Sarah Michelle Gellar fan, it came, like, this was supposed to be made specifically for me to love. And in the first episode, I did feel like, okay, maybe they will stick with some of the, like, Teen Wolf kind of vibes, and then they do not. There's, like, zero humor.
Yeah.
True.
And like Teen Wolf is full of humor, and I feel like that balance is very necessary, and they completely missed it. But overall, I did like season 1. I would like a season 2.
Ashley, you're so sweet. I like that you're like, I could feel you being like, no, that's too mean. Let me say something nice.
Like, fuck you, but softly, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, Zachary, what did you give us your?
I've been waiting all day because I was like, I'm gonna feel how I'm gonna feel once we start recording. Right? I've just been really I try not to think about it too much today, but I think I'm just sitting here. I might be the grump of this. I think I was just highly disappointed. There's not a whole lot of redeeming qualities for it. I think what redemption does come with it comes too little too late. I think all of the actors were good. They were fine. I think it was definitely the writing. There was a lot for them to work with, right? But it wasn't a lot of good stuff. It was a lot of sludge and mud. And gosh, like, Sarah had a pretty interesting sort of like character, but they didn't pull it out of the bag soon enough. Mm-hmm. And I'm really, really disappointed by that because I feel like it's not going to get picked up. So we're gonna get like this weird cliffhanger, right? That's not even really a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And I just overall, I think I'm very disappointed in it. It was really hard for us to get through episode by episode. I still have not edited like the last 2 episodes, our reactions. I'm just like dreading it because I don't have to like watch it back while I'm editing. I'm like, this is just terrible.
Zach, hilariously in Slayerfest 98's Discord, I posted like, oh, we're like talking about the series, and Jared was like, well, I know what you and Zach think about it since you stopped covering it. I was like, no, we're still covering it for My Bloody Judy.
But it's so hard to get through that we didn't technically plan to do this, right? We planned to do the first episode. We were going to do Sarah's return, and then we ended up doing the rest of them thinking it was going to be a little bit better, and it just, like, we can't give up on it, right? We can't just stop halfway through.
Yeah.
But it is just so rough to get through. We were like falling asleep. I think the only thing that really kept us going was joking with each other and like basically shitting on it. So the reason I haven't put out our full commentary, because we usually do a shorter reaction on YouTube and a full commentary on the podcast platforms, and I have not done that because we shit on it a lot, Ian. Like we are not very nice to this show.
Listen, I told Zach this the other night. I had fun doing it just because, like, I have fun recording with Zach. So it's like fun if it's like, we're just like dicking around, whatever, and like goofing on the show. But yeah, like, I don't understand. Someone said this to me that Jeff Davis deserves jail for wasting Sarah Michelle Gellar like this.
Yes.
Like, I don't know that I disagree. And like, again, we wanted, right, Zach? We were so excited. We were like so happy to support her. And I don't understand
how we fucking did too.
We did.
Okay,
You're right.
We sat through this whole thing. We put out reactions. We did our Sarah Michelle Gellar support. We did the damn thing.
Where was everyone else?
Exactly.
Yes.
And like, it's just it's still, the potential was there, right? Like, I do think the potential was there.
There were no potentials there. No, that would have been even better. It would have been wonderful to add some potentials. Like, there was nothing.
And the show, I do think the biggest issue was that it couldn't decide what it wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was it Riverdale? Was it like a more horror version of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina? But like, it often felt like there would be a buildup and then a fart of dust as like the conclusion to the buildup. And I don't understand why they didn't go for it, because there were like numerous times when it's like, oh, cool, this is going to lead to something scary. And then like nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
All of the elements were there. It looked phenomenal. Like the CGI was like very, very testy.
Right.
But the show looked so good. All of the actors looked great. Some of the filters were a little off sometimes, but the actors looked great. The show looked great. It was the writing. It was exactly the writing.
Yeah.
For sure. It was so slow.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashley, so wait, you can speak to this more because I know I haven't watched all of Teen Wolf, but like, this is not the vibe of Teen Wolf at all, right?
No, there's one scene in the finale that I will stand by that you could replace Baron out of that scene and put in like Styles or someone and it would feel like Teen Wolf. It would feel right. But the rest of it was just off. And like, I thought maybe with episode 1, I had said that it did have a little bit of a Teen Wolf vibe, and I thought they were going to stick to like the like more serious side of Teen Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
But then they just like, I don't know, there was like zero personality to the show at all.
Yeah.
Like before this, I had to like look up the cast to make sure I could remember which character was what name, because
I have IMDb open at this time.
Yeah.
I do too. It was particularly all of the white boys with the darker hair. I could not distinguish a single one of them, and I'm glad by episode 7 I kind of was able to. Like, I very much enjoyed Cyrus, but you asked me who Cyrus was in the first 6 episodes.
Right.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, for my like notes that I took, I had to put everyone's name in bold because I did not remember all their names. Also the thing. I think the thing that the show was missing, I think I said this in one of our reactions, maybe, Zach, I do feel like it was missing like a Cordelia Chase type character. Like, no one was funny. Everyone was incredibly serious, and we needed at least someone to be like the witty, like bringing a little bit of like levity to this, of like, wow, you're also serious. Like, I hate your shoes. Like, I needed a character like that.
Yes.
And like the blonde girl that dies.
I thought it was going to be Phoebe.
Yes. Yeah. But no, right? She didn't really do much with her.
And then she gets her ass dragged across like glass ceiling.
See, like something like that could have been cool, but it was like, I don't know, like that's a cool horror thing, right? But like everything around, like we didn't even see her die. She was just in the pool, and like the wolf was behind. Like, I don't know. It was like they had the budget. We would see, butts. We saw a face get smushed in the first episode.
Yeah.
But then like a lot of the other horror, it felt like they were like not going there. It was like they're cutting away before the horror part happened, which I don't understand because sometimes it did happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what. Okay, so the first episode, I had to hand it to him. That scene where like all the animal, like that stampede. I was like, oh, okay, we're going there, okay. Right. And then I was like, oh. By like episode 4 and 5, I go, what the hell? I was like, you all sold me something else. This is
And I thought the fire was gonna like be a thing because it was still going days on, and I was like, okay, but are we gonna do something with this fire, or is it just like kind of there in sporadic little places in the forest?
It was, and also the chemistry between the characters just was not there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the top of my notes. Actually, says no one had any romantic chemistry, and 3 out of the 4 of those teens read as queer to me.
Yes.
Everyone but
Mhm.
Luna. Like, Luna could have been queer, but like the other 3 absolutely. I mean, one of them is gay, but the other, like Blake and Everett, did not have romantic chemistry
No.
at all.
Her
Like-
name is Blake. And you're not going to make her queer?
She doesn't have a phone, Ashley. She
Yeah,
doesn't have
Ashley.
a phone. That's her character.
I still could not fathom that. You've got a special needs brother, and
Yeah.
you're going to sit here and not have a phone in case of an emergency?
Right.
Listen,
right.
when I was in middle school, when I would get, or like early high school, and I would get my phone taken away, I would go and get my ass a prepaid. I still had a damn phone,
What?
okay?
Oh my
Everybody has a freaking phone today. Everybody does. I did think Harlan and Everett had a little bit more chemistry than like Everett and Blake did. Their whole sort of like dick measuring contest,
Mhm.
alpha dog
Yes.
sort of situation was very sexual,
Yeah.
And then I thought Harlan and Cyrus were really cute, but I wish we'd gotten more of that, like more relationship building with them.
Yeah, he kind of just like fell off, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like we got like 2 episodes where it was like, okay, they liked each other, and then it was kind of like,
Because we got that fire truck scene where they're sitting in the front of the fire
Yeah.
truck and they're
Yeah.
like blowing weed smoke into each other's mouths, and that was sexy, And it just in the last episode, I guess Cyrus was just in one of those. I don't even know what they were. I truly don't know what they were, like memory outtakes or some shit like that. And that's like all we got.
Yeah, I don't know. Because, okay, I'm glad everyone agrees, though, because I'm like, I know I want to make everything gay, but like, right, like, the straight
Yeah.
chemistry just wasn't there.
And Everett just reads queer. Like that
Yes.
character just reads queer. And it didn't make any sense to have him like thirsting after Blake. I was like,
Yeah.
from the beginning, I was like, I don't like this. And then every time that they kissed, I literally would yell, boo, on TV.
Because they both, like, I mean, they just, like, Blake, they both couldn't have read any more queer to me. I don't know. And, like, the scene that Zach just brought up of them, Harlan and Everett in the gym, it was like, ooh, are they gonna kiss? Are they gonna go home and fuck after this? Like, I thought that was like the most chemistry anyone had. But so let's go into the characters, I guess. Actually, let me see. Before we go into the main characters, I also cannot fathom that they would say, yes, the werewolf is a separate character. We're not introducing him till like the show's almost over, and he's not really going to talk either. Like, that feels like such a stupid fucking choice, right?
Mm-hmm. And that was, we think we're going to get a season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he should have been on the bus. He should have been like, or not even like he had to be best friends with them, but like just the way Phoebe was, where she was there sometimes, or the way the kid Austin, who kind of looked like a mean Timothée Chalamet, was like there sometimes. Like, this character should have been there sometimes, not
Yeah.
just like, oh, he's at this house and he doesn't know his name. That's weird. Who is he?
Right.
Listen,
yeah.
after the first shot of Sarah Michelle Gellar, like the cop moving out of the way in her entrance, like what a wonderful
So good.
enter for her. I would have been convinced we had a season 2 as well, and dropped the writing for the rest of it.
That's it. We're done.
Yeah, I'd been like, oh, perfection, Emmys.
We got it. And you know what? I think they might have done that too. And that's why all the rest of it felt like fucking filler. Because they were like, well, that was the great scene. We don't need any more, do we? And like, even those first 2 episodes that were pretty slow, I felt like the potential was there, that I was like, oh, this is going to get good. Like, they're like waiting a little bit, and then they just kept waiting.
Yeah.
And Sarah Michelle Gellar gave an interview. I can't remember if it was Deadline or what. There was like a site that used to do that was doing like post-episode interviews with Sarah Michelle Gellar that were very short. And the episode where we get the reveal that like Kristin Ramsey kills the security guard, she kept saying, I know it's been a slow burn, but I'm so glad everyone stuck with it. And I was like, oh God, I hate that she has to even say that, right? Like,
That's just bad.
We didn't appreciate Ringer when we had it. We didn't appreciate the twins when we had it.
And like, I can't imagine knowing Sarah Michelle Gellar's range, being a big
Mhm.
Buffy fan, and this is what you want her to do, right?
It really feels like they wrote a 22 episode season and then they were like, meh, just to make the mid-season finale be the end. And we'll just make season 2 the rest of the season 1 we wrote.
Because like, Zach, when we watched, remember the same episode where we get the twist of her, like you and I were like into that. Like they were building up to the werewolf gonna come crash the house party. We were building up to something with her.
It was fantastic. But then we predicted it exactly. We said, okay, but I hope that what they're not going to do is bring us back the next episode and like the wolf runs off into the woods or like everybody's fine. I was like, no, we want a full chase through this mansion, doors being broken, teenagers being slaughtered, all of that. I want to see some great stuff with Sarah Michelle Gellar the next episode, and they completely dropped it. I don't know if it feels like they were like, okay, well, we can't blow the load. We got to hold it, tease them, edge them, but no, you did none of that. Okay. I lost my heart on very, very soon.
Zachary. I'm like, what are we talking about? I because there was like so many like good moments that could have been cool horror. And I did have, I can't remember if it was one of you actually, that someone told me that they felt that the show was waiting and they were going to have a reveal of showing us all the scenes where they cut away weirdly. But like, we didn't get that. And like, I forget who said that to me, but I was like, you know what? If they're right, I think I'll like this. And like, I was kind of waiting for that. And I mean, we got like a tiny bit of it, but not enough to just like, I cannot believe the man from Teen Wolf tells that story and it is so long and we don't see it happening. Like it's just him talking to them.
Yeah.
Can we just for a second like talk about when we do see it? And I want to know everybody's thoughts on like the de-aged Sarah Michelle Gellar like wolf transformation like scene.
Yeah.
You mean with that wig?
Yeah.
Like I know everybody came for Kirby in her hair, but
that was the same wig. That was the same wig. They used it on Wolfpack version, then they cut it and gave it to Kirby.
Oh my god. That was atrocious, and I couldn't believe that Sarah Michelle Gellar signed off on that because that was
not her ass. She did not even do it. She said I'm not fucking doing this, and they said okay, AI.
Yeah, she looked at the script and said absolutely not. And they're like, all right, we'll get a stunt double. Don't worry.
It was.
Ashley, what'd you think of it?
Oh no, I agree with all of you. It was not. I was like, is that supposed to be her?
Also, like, yes, it was hard to tell that it was her, right?
Yeah.
I was looking at the nose. I was like, let me see the nose.
That's what I was doing too, and I couldn't get a good. And then she like uploaded on her story the next day, and I was like, okay, yeah, confirm that was supposed to be her.
Also, like, I didn't quite understand where we like. The werewolf lore was very shaky.
Yes.
Because like she was a werewolf, but then like turns mostly human, but still has these long claws, and that's when she kills everyone. And I was like, I don't understand what also
if
the
they
idea
just
that
added an Evanescence song, it would have been a plus scene.
Also, I like the lore of the werewolf stuff, like the fire turns them in. That makes no sense.
Super weird, very different from Teen Wolf. I was like, the wolves don't even look the same. I'm like, this is supposed to be in the same universe, and they don't even really look the same. Like, I'm very confused about.
But then it's not in the same universe, right?
It's supposed to be. It's supposedly canon in the same universe, not related to Teen Wolf, but in the same universe.
Because I thought I had read that like they said it's not a spinoff.
It's not. It's unrelated to Teen Wolf. They were supposed to keep it in the same universe. Like, so I assumed like same rules, same like archetypes, but it was not.
That's what made it so confusing because I don't think they even knew what they wanted to do with the werewolf lore.
Mm-hmm.
Like at a certain point, it just felt like, okay, they only get one special trait. I'm like, I don't know about this. I was like, who wrote this? And then,
and like only one of them can turn others.
Right? Oh, God, on my last good nerve, that one.
God, I even missed that. Wait, what was it? I missed that. What was it?
The only one with the power of transformation. So he's the only one that can bite someone and turn them into a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
That makes no sense.
I missed that shit.
That's
We missed
that's
a
in
lot,
the very
Ian,
last
okay.
episode. That's when Kristin Ramsey, when she's healing Baron, she's explaining that he has the gift of with transmutation, and that's when I was like, okay, throw in the pack it up.
Well, they were. Okay, last episode. Series finale.
There's just like so many choices that I'm like, why did we do that? And like, why did we wait? Like, even like the Kristin Ramsey reveal when she kills the security guard, it was like, I am still like annoyed that we don't fully like, why did she brings that security guard to that spot, explains to him what he's looking at, then kills him and throws him in. And it's like, I don't understand why.
She has him unlock the door. It was already locked. There was nobody going there. And I
would say that's a plot hole because I don't think that's ever explained.
It's not.
It was a great scene, like when she did kill him. I'm like, yes, but I'm like, wait, why did you do that?
It was just a moment that they kind of conceived in talking about the show, but then when it came down to writing it in, it was disjointed. It had no place in it. But I'm glad we have it because it's one of the best parts of the series. But it has literally no place in the series.
Yeah,
and they made like a big deal about her flashlight after that too. Like,
I love that fucking flashlight. I want to find that. I need to find that on one of the prop websites that sell.
Oh my god, it's like a. Oh my god, no. I'm sure you could find some Law and Order type website and you could get the flashlight there.
Zach, I love the idea of you would probably be able to get that for cheap.
Anything she held, okay? Anything she held, I will snap up.
So let's get into the characters. So we'll start with
I thought we were there.
We'll start with Blake. Ashley, I mean, I agree with like she should have been queer. She also like styled her as like the tough queer girl, right?
Her style, her attitude, her name, all of it. She should have been queer, and I feel very shorted.
And I liked her. I liked her like enough. We know we talked about it, but like, God, the reveal of why she doesn't have a cell phone was maybe the stupidest fucking thing the show did.
My mom and dad had cheating drama over a cell phone. I will never have a cell phone in my life.
I also can't imagine like anyone seriously writing that, right? Like, she's not gonna have a cell phone. How are we gonna explain that? I got it. Her parents got into a fight and that caused trauma that she doesn't want to be near a phone. We should have just had her have a phone, right? That didn't matter. Like, give her a fucking phone. I feel like that would be like a season 2 reveal. It's like, ooh, she got a phone now. She's better.
She gets a beeper first. Okay, we got to baby steps.
Not a beeper. No.
Jesus Christ. Yutaka, what do you think of Blake?
I thought, well, she was frustrating in my opinion because I again, very little chemistry with Everett. Also at times I thought it was weird when she would, do the lion's breath or run or whatnot. And she's got this gorgeous hair. Why you putting in a hoodie like that? Why are you trying to run down it? I'm like, girl, we got to get past this. But I don't know. I like the actress. I think she's incredibly gorgeous, but I was just like, what's your purpose?
Yeah, I mean, right. That's kind of almost all of them could be. We could ask that question. But I do think the actor, I thought she was good. Like she's someone that I think would probably do well in like a horror movie. I would like to see her as like a cool final girl, right?
I really liked her. I liked Blake a lot. I did. I liked the way she was styled. I liked that she didn't have a phone. No, I didn't like that part, but I liked everything else about her, right? It would just frustrate me that the writing would kind of like introduce her and then leave her stagnant when I know that there was so much potential with her and there was a lot that they could really do with her. Like I wanted to see her get into like a fight at school or something. You know, she can like fuck a bitch up. You know it. She's wearing those boots all the time. And like the last episode or second to last episode where she had like a leather jacket on. She just looked like a Slayer, you know, and it was just so it just frustrated me because it felt like maybe she was even there to be Everett's love interest rather than having her own things to do, even though we did see her do a fair amount, but it was all around her fucking brother. And I'm like, Jesus, send this kid. The dad and the kid need to go on vacation or something while she's dealing with it.
Where was the mom in this? Because the dad was a terrible dad.
I guess the mom was Sarah Michelle Gellar because I didn't understand that shit either.
The mom died. The mom was dead.
Oh,
that was her trauma.
When did Jay say she died? Was it the car accident?
Yes. That's her trauma.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that.
Blake was cool. Bella Shepherd. You are phenomenal, Bella Shepherd. You get yourself into a real good horror movie, Bella Shepherd, and the gays will embrace you.
True.
I don't know. Ashley, do you have anything to add about Blake?
I mean, I think she was definitely my favorite of the like not Kristin. And out of anyone else, I guess I would pick Blake. I just think they should have used her more. And you're right, there was a lack of fight scenes.
Yeah. And like we saw they had cool powers, right?
Yeah. And she's super fast, and you're not going to put her in a bunch of chase scenes.
Right.
Like, she should have had like a Tobey Maguire like bully scene where she gets her powers and then somebody tries to bully her and she like, you know, jumps around and like hits them and all that stuff into lockers, you know? But I don't know. Wasted.
Like if we've got to put up with 10 seasons of The Flash, they could have done something here. I'm just saying.
And so we will move on to Everett.
He has anxiety. Okay. See, we can describe them all right now. Watch. Blake doesn't have a phone. Everett has anxiety. Harlan likes to work out, and Luna killed her horse. That's all we got the entire time. Okay, that's the only. They kept revisiting these storylines for these four characters this entire fucking show.
Zach summed up the whole thing. That really is like.
Thank you for welcoming to Slayerfest '98. Where can everybody find you?
Episode over.
These characters lacked any actual depth or like really good backstory that made them memorable. You could swap them out with anybody. It's just
And like I do think those actors could have done more. Like I don't think they were bad. Like I do think it really is the writing, because they had all these like good actors. They had, like you said, Zach, it was filmed well. It looked cool. Like the budget was there for the film, I guess, like cinematography and shit, but like the writing just, I don't know. It felt like they had like 5 ideas and we're like, ooh, how do we make this?
It was every other department was doing their job. Even the styling department, like when they fully like start coming into their powers and they start dressing darker and dressing more kind of cohesive with each other, they look cool. They look like cool kids that I just want to see them do cool shit. And they didn't do anything, right? Like, his mama slaps people. Why didn't he catch his mama slap one time? You know, something like that. Instead, he took the keys and then he got locked up for it.
Did that make me so mad? That was so dumb. Like, I'm like, hold up. No way can you have your kid committed for, like, first off, there were so many plot holes right there. I was like, there's not a mark on that woman's body.
Yeah. And the dad knew she was an asshole. So it's like, what? You were on his side 2 episodes ago, and now because he took keys out of her hands, like, we're leading to this. I liked the dad until then, and I was like, oh, I hate the dad too now. Like, because like at least the dad was like, you know, he was annoyed at him for not taking his medicine or something, but it's like, okay, that makes sense, right? Being like, you should take it, like, it's good for you, blah, blah, blah. But like, now your mom said this, your mom, who I know is a dickhead, and I agreed with you just the other day, I'm going to have, and like, I don't know how you redeem the dad after that, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you can.
I don't think so. And, you know, they could have focused a lot on the sort of family trauma that they have rather than all this fucking anxiety shit. I understand anxiety is a real thing. We all deal with it, right? But how many times did we have to hear about Lion's breath when his mama was slapping people? Okay. I think that's a worse problem.
Yeah. Ashley, talk. I want to hear you talk on this.
It really got on my nerves. Like, I am all for giving us more mental health representation in media, but like, it was his only personality trait. It's the only thing that ever came out of his fucking mouth. I'm like, he's talking again. How long is it going to be before he mentions his anxiety? Like, ugh. And then at the end when he's like, I'm never going to have anxiety again. I'm not turning back. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, it's been 2 days. Relax. Like, you might have anxiety again.
Yeah.
You can't relax. He has anxiety, Ian.
And like, that is something in Teen Wolf. Like, Scott had asthma. And after he got bit, he didn't have asthma again until several seasons later when it came back.
Oh.
So that Everett.
Also, the way they talked about his anxiety, because like I feel like they just kept saying anxiety in place of like different mental health things.
And the way that they handled the autism representation was horrific. Some of the stuff I was like, oh yeah, my nephew does that. And then some of the stuff it was like, it was almost like they were sometimes alluding to like, it really felt like someone like looked at Twitter and that's what they like, oh, anxiety and autism. Yeah. Let's throw them or
in
like
there.
went down like a TikTok spiral.
Yes. The thing is, not every show needs to tackle every social issue, mental health issue. Like, it can just be about sexy werewolves. That's okay. You know?
Sure, but I will say, if you're going to at least talk about mental health or any of the, like, you need to do it well.
Yes.
And that's what this just did not do it well at all.
No, it did not. It was making me cringe by the end. Like, halfway through the season, I'm like, please, no one say the word anxiety again because I'm going to get a nosebleed. And, well, they kept saying it. And, like, I just, it really...
like, I have anxiety, and then they all have anxiety, and then everybody has anxiety, and then they don't have anxiety anymore, and then there's Lion's breath.
And then Harlan has his own anxiety, and Everett's like, that's not my anxiety, that's your anxiety.
Oh my God, oh my God, that's like... Oh,
she's like, I was cured, motherfucker, not you. So yeah, I guess we'll move on to Luna. I have like nothing to say about Luna. She
looked great, but that's it.
Yeah, I loved her.
Actually, some of her style was a little off at times, but yeah.
No, I do think, I agree with that. I think I actually said this to Ian, is they should have dressed her like Willow, like, I feel like she would have been cool as like a witchy sort of, like with a witchy sort of vibe. She was cute and I could have seen she was sweet. And if they just like, I get she killed her horse, but I didn't need to hear about it every episode. And if you just said it, if you said it one episode and then like gave her more to do, and then she like drew a werewolf one time and like, but there was nothing else that was done with her, right? Like nothing.
The horse thing was like resolved fairly. It was like for like the anxiety, we had to hear that word every episode. I feel like the horse was weird, right? Because was it episode 1 or 2 when you like she imagines it crashing through the front door, and like then we kind of like get like, oh no, she killed it, and then we just don't. It like didn't matter.
It only mattered to tell us that the female cop person knew that they were wolves, and that was it. Yeah. And so why did we keep bringing it up? We just needed that one explanation the one time, and then you could have moved on.
Yeah, right? Like, that's fine to be like, yeah, that was upsetting that time I murdered my horse.
Or maybe, like, she had a problem and would murder all of the neighbors' horses, too? Or, like, something crazy, right? Where was it leading to is my question.
Zach, I love, and she murdered all the neighbors' horses.
Because they act like she had the biggest problem of them all, and I'm like, it was an accident.
Yeah.
Did anybody clock, though? She did lie. She lied her ass off. She said, he kicked me. I watched that scene. That horse did not kick her.
It was just like, I felt like she was... Of the underwritten, she was the underwrittenest.
I also hate that she like clocked that Austin is an asshole, called him an asshole, and then was still like, but I still like him.
Because they played piano.
Please.
Oh, I was like, girl.
Yeah.
It's like, you need better. No.
That guy also had nothing redeemed. His name was Austin, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He also had like there was never a moment when he was like likable.
No, he was a jerk the whole time.
Yeah, and when they were playing the piano, that was two
We're not going to
so
talk
dumb.
about him as its own topic, are we?
No. Zach and I there was two kids in the opening that did look the one that gets pulled through the fence who dies and him looked. Zach and I could not tell them apart in our reaction
Wait,
videos.
did the kid who got pulled through the fence, he did die, didn't he?
We never went back to him, so yeah, I guess he's dead.
Oh my gosh, we never went back to him.
What was his name? Did he have a name? I don't remember.
He had a
he
big ass
did have
chase
a
scene
name.
too, and I thought we were going to get he got turned into a wolf.
Was
Yeah,
that
because
Marco?
Oh God, you could say his name was Ian Carlos Crawford, and I'd be like, yeah, sure. I don't know.
We're going to go with that.
Yeah, if you're not going to show the death part, then that does lead me to believe, oh, we're going to go back to it, but we didn't.
We didn't go back to nothing. Sarah Michelle Gellar laid in his spot. They made that a big deal.
I think he's one of the pile of bodies.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
the idea. But we should have seen the flashback of him getting dropped in to confirm it.
Yeah, at the very least, that or been when Garrett sees it, be like, oh my God, is that my son's friend? I don't know, some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that brings us to Harlan, whose characteristic is gay. I liked him. I thought they could have done more with him. But I liked him. I thought he was the one that had the most potential to maybe be rolling his eyes at everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But he also, I do think they wrote him probably the best out of everybody. We saw him as a, confident gay guy. He wasn't struggling with his sexuality or anything. He was, horny and into a guy and would go out clubbing and go to the gym but his sort of scenes with other people, especially with romantic interests, were really intriguing. I wanted to see a lot more of those.
He gave very good flirty eyes.
Sure. Yeah, I guess.
The two of you ah.
There's just not enough in any of these characters to get excited over, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Harlan had this entire alpha mentality, but they didn't even lean into it as much. I mean, yeah, he knew he was hot and he was going for whatever, and I'm like, go live your life.
Yeah.
But he just still didn't have strong characteristics. And I need to mention, I did want to call this out, when there's this raging fire outside and they're all in this warehouse at a party with an abandoned fire truck.
That fire truck was needed somewhere in the damn city. Okay.
I was like, what the hell am I? And then my first thought was, you privileged white bastard. But I don't know. I think he's very attractive, but I mean, that was his only... Again, yeah, underwritten, all of them. That was just his quality.
I will defend the fire only because after, working retail during the height of lockdown, I feel like there's plenty of people that would be doing that. But they made the fire... I mean, I should have brought up the fire at the top of the episode. The fire was also incredibly inconsistent, right? Because it was Blake and her family were evacuated. And then everyone... The fire didn't seem close to there. And even when Blake went to her burnt down house, it didn't the house inside, yes, looked very burnt down. But when they're walking, nothing, I don't know. The
fire was a whole ass other main character that they did nothing with. It would have been really cool to see the fire introduced in the first episode, right? And then as every episode goes on, maybe the fire approaches or surrounds the city more and more, so that by the very end we're all stuck in this warehouse, and there's a fire starting to burn the warehouse, and we're fighting, and we're the fire didn't even play into any final battle, and I was super disappointed about it. So if it does come back for season 2, I don't want to see a damn fire. I don't want to see no fires in this show anymore. No more arson investigating.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started on that role. I love Sarah Michelle Gellar, but really? An arson investigator?
Wait, we'll get to arson investigator extraordinaire. Let's I feel like none of us will have much to say about him, but we'll talk about Garrett first. I thought the adults were maybe the better written character. Like, I think Garrett and Kristin were the better written of the main characters. And it's weird because he's gone for like half the show, he's stuck in the woods.
Mhm.
And like every time we cut to him, it was like, I don't know, the fire doesn't look that bad. It looks like he can walk. And like, I am an extreme baby. I would also be upset if the fire were remotely near me, but like, I don't know.
There wasn't even like a ton of smoke around him. Like,
Right?
he was like in the clear. And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yutaka, what'd you think of him?
He was also a very handsome. Well, actually, no, I was drooling over him. But I think he and Sarah Michelle Gellar, like those were the bigger names stars of this entire series. So I think that's probably why they were given more. But in the end, when I guess they were in the warehouse, I guess he had a sweat. He was sweating, but his hair wasn't wet. And I know his ass wasn't crying. I was like, I'm so confused what's going on here, even though this is your final battle, but okay.
Out of all of the criticisms, that's his number one. He put that at the top of his list.
I didn't have anything else because, again, there was these characters are just so unremarkable, which is sad. Because I think, again, Teen Wolf, even when it was cheesy, they still like would put in the work to develop the characters. I just didn't feel like that was here. And I know we only had 8 episodes, so that could factor into some of it, but like, I don't know. He's a dad. He cares about his kids. He looked like he did cry a lot. I don't know.
He did. He really did, right? I don't. Zach, what'd you think of the dad?
I don't even have any notes. He has silver bullets. Him and Harlan fight a lot.
The silver bullet thing, I feel like it very much would have been an easy explanation to be like, well, they're probably other werewolves. I don't want them to kill you guys or kill other people. Like, when they're so mad about it, I really thought that would be his explanation, and he never says that. But that feels like a very reasonable explanation if you're living in a world where werewolves exist because you found your children when they were puppies. Like, okay, yeah, there's probably more werewolves. Right?
She killed a horse. Okay, I might have a couple silver bullets myself.
It's like they know what they are.
Yeah.
They know it's a risk. Don't be pissed off about it.
Right, like, I mean, I am not a werewolf teenager, but I do feel like I would be a little forgiving of that. Like, I'd be like, all right, I get it. Like, you know, you don't know. What if one of us tries to kill someone or, like, you know, tries to kill other family members? Yeah. You had silver bullets in case. It's, like, not crazy, right?
That was actually logical. I mean, I look. Speaking of werewolf lore, can we talk about you say their true name? What?
Oh my god. It took them, who was it that kept saying, don't say it? Which one of them? One of them was like, don't say the word. And I was I
feel like that was Harlan. I feel like Harlan didn't want Everett saying the word a whole bunch.
And like,
there were a few scenes like that. Yeah, but Sarah Michelle Gellar got off on people saying werewolf. She's like, say werewolf.
Say what it is.
She even said it to the security guard. Maybe that's why she killed the security guard, right? She just needed somebody to say it.
God, she really did that. Yeah, I mean, I guess I thought a thing that I'm a little still confused about is I'm not sure where we're supposed to land on Garrett and Kristin Ramsey's relationship. And I mean, we're going to get to Kristin in a minute, but like, I mean, her in general, I don't know where we're supposed to land. And like, at first, you know, Zach's husband, Alistair, did a couple of the reaction videos with us. And he was like, oh, like, I want them to hook up. And I did too. And I'm not sure if that's what we were, I don't know what they were going for with the two of them.
She was just like, you are a fine daddy. I want you to be the father to my puppies.
That's pretty much what I got. I mean, and that does make sense though for character development because I mean, she's noticed that he's taken care of them this entire time and he still knows what they are and he still wants to protect them. So that made sense. Like, why wouldn't you want to go after that?
Right.
But again, that goes to the whole werewolf lore. Why couldn't she just scratch or bite? No, she can't turn anybody. Their weird kid had to.
And he got it by being lit on fire, which I'm still not 100% clear on.
Yeah.
Because she was a werewolf?
That doesn't make sense, I know.
All right, so we're there. Zach, give me your... What do you want to say about Kristin Ramsey?
We love Sarah Michelle Gellar.
We do.
The arson investigator, she didn't do her job not once. I want to know how she got from the woods to being an arson investigator with the name Kristin Ramsey. I want to know. I need background, a full episode of background. It made no fucking sense. They gave her one outfit the entire time until they put her in a princess hairdo in the second to the last episode. But she did look
great
good.
in that episode.
She looked good.
Yeah.
I just needed her styled more. Take the jacket off, Kristin Ramsey. We get it. Arson investigator. Okay, I understand. I don't need to read it on your shirt every single time I see you. And then, they finally gave us the Sarah Michelle Gellar shit we wanted in the last episode. Yeah. Had you made the reveal a lot sooner and let her do that shit all season, Twitter would have been ablaze with GIFs, with chatter about it, discussion, even if the show wasn't good, right? But they saved it. And again, too little too late. If it doesn't get picked up, that is your fault. And I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're absolutely correct, Zach. I just don't. That reveal, even just the security guard, her killing the security guard should have happened earlier, right? To be oh, now we know something's up with her. We're not quite sure. Even that would have been better to happen early on. I don't know. Her character didn't feel that well thought out. Because I'm still not sure if I'm supposed to assume she's a villain or not.
Yeah, I think the whole series was just a concept that they discussed, and then when it got down to writing it, I wonder if she ever read a script before she actually signed on,
right?
Or if she was just brought. Because honestly, it sounds cool. There's a fire going. There's werewolves, arson investigator, but you have a secret motive. That sounds cool, said out loud. But did she really sign on reading these scripts?
I mean, she was an executive producer. I mean, that's part of, I'm sure, why she signed on is because she got more control.
Yeah, to make sure, she didn't work with a shitty boss again.
Yeah, which that I'm here for, but I agree. I don't know if she read the script.
Well, the one interview I read with her, she said she passed on it a bunch of times until her people were like, no, you got to read this.
So the moral of the story is annoy Sarah Michelle Gellar enough and she'll be in your project.
So when we write our horror movie, we just send her the script
just over and over and over again. Okay. We'll flick a check at her and maybe she'll come do it.
Just keep sending it to her. And she's like, all right, let me see what these queers have to say. Fucking shit. So stop talking to me. And then she'll like it. I wonder what she read. It couldn't have been that first episode script because I can't imagine that would have sold her on it. Right? Or any of the first 3 or 4?
Or 5, 6, 7, 8.
I like the idea that you still don't know if she. I mean, I would like to say she's still a villain because she killed all those people. I mean, we can't ignore that,
right?
I do like that. She did get to play a little bit more of a different role than she's used to, so that was nice. Mm-hmm. But she was still underutilized because, she kicked some major ass that last episode. Mm-hmm. But again, I was like, this should have happened at least halfway through. And the reveal, that was way too late in the game to where I was like, wow, cool. That was great. Now what?
I think the episode 5 reveal would have been really great had they introduced her as a werewolf much earlier on, at least end of episode 1. Beginning of episode 2, we think she's a good wolf, but then we start questioning it when that moment happens in episode 5, right? But let her fight, because Sarah Michelle Gellar, if you're listening, you should be absolutely proud of the work you did in this because you did elevate this show. The only reason people watched this damn show was because of you, and you did phenomenal work. At the end, we got we got our Sarah Michelle Gellar goodness, right? They finally let you do something. So she should be really proud of the work that she did in this.
And Sarah Michelle, if you're listening, tell your agent to probably unblock my email so that way I can have
We
you
have
come on my
movie ideas.
podcast.
We have movie ideas, okay?
Not unblock your email.
That's anytime someone's like, I've had people be like, oh, you queried Sarah Michelle Gellar. I'm like, yes, I fucking queried Sarah. Are you kidding me? Of course I have. I know her agent's like email by heart. I'm sure she has my email blocked at this point.
I just don't understand how you get Sarah Michelle Gellar and you've seen,
Yes.
like, have they seen her work? Because give her emotional balance, give her fight scenes, give her all of the goodness that can go into a supernatural show like this, right? Like I want to see her lip quiver in a cry scene. I want to see her get angry. I want to see her like welling up as she's getting angry. She has so much to deliver, and they had her sticking her hand out every episode. Arson, Investigator, Kristin, Ramsey.
There was also so much potential for scenes like that to be written in, and they just didn't.
Yes. For so often when they would like, that's what I like earlier when I was saying they like build up, they would build up to like cool shit to be like, oh, something cool happened, and then just totally shit the bed on it. And I don't see how they didn't see that, right? Like maybe when you're right, like maybe reading it translates better. I don't know. I will say the thing I just keep thinking of this because it's so silly. I like kind of appreciate how silly it is that they like gave a reason to why she introduced herself and shook everyone's fucking hand in those first few episodes.
Brownie points for that. Absolutely. Thank you for giving us a reason and a why.
Because I remember one of the really bad reviews I read of the first two episodes was like, they waste Sarah Michelle Gellar. She just spends both episodes going around saying who she is and shaking hands. And like, that is what she did, but there was a reason. Like, I appreciate that there was a reason.
Yeah.
And she did no arson investigating. She did FBI work. And then when the FBI came in, she said, I'm not supposed to be doing this job. I need to like, and nobody tell that I've been like in the homicide department and in the morgue. Please don't tell anybody you know anything about Kristin Ramsey, Arson Investigator.
Because also, again, the guy, the like janitor, ex-firefighter that like kidnaps her son. I mean, I know that especially in that finale, he was like positioned as the villain, but like he did have every right to want to like get revenge, right? She murdered every single firefighter he worked with.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Yeah, it was weird, the like turn of like this guy that told a very long story that we didn't cut away from is now like, I don't know. I was glad though that it led us to a cool action scene because yes, that's like, Zach, I feel like that was the most pumped we were the entire like watch of this season was like watching her like fight.
Well, yeah, because it was the best scene of the entire season.
Yeah.
I just want to see Sarah Michelle Gellar shaking her hair around, you know, getting crazy, doing high kicks, and you know, it's just we weren't promised that, right? We were promised her like waving her gun around and stuff like that. But it's a supernatural show. This is really all you gave her to do. You had way too much confidence thinking you were going to get a second season. It should have been a movie. It should have been a 2-hour movie. It would have been nice and tight, and any problems with it would have been easier able to be overlooked, right? Because as an 8 episode thing, it was you know, 6 hours too long, and it was too difficult to get to the end.
Zach, I really feel very good that like it's that I feel like you're always a lot nicer than me, so I feel good that like you also have like.
Well, we did get a really great press tour from her for this,
you know,
and I'll always be grateful to Wolfpack and Jeff Davis and Paramount Plus and all of them for that.
I wrote an article about it for Matthew Shepard Foundation, like getting to see her do interviews now as opposed to like when I was a teen where like, you know, she wasn't being asked about her gay fans. That wasn't like a thing being asked. Like it was really nice to see. And it was really nice to see, especially she's just very good at being a celebrity, I think, because she can answer these questions on her toes, even if she's not quite sure. She like gets there, like when she's asked about her gay fans and, you know, it takes her a minute to get there, but she like, the end beat made me cry when she was like, you know, your community, the LGBTQ community shows up for me. And I hope that you feel I show up for you because that's what I try to do. And like, she wasn't trying to say like, I'm the best ally. I know I do all, like, she was just like acknowledging that she knows that she has a huge fandom in the LGBTQ community and like that she could just say like, and I try to do my best. Like she wasn't like jerking herself off. She was just being honest. And that's like really nice to see, I think.
Well, and I hope we have, as Sarah Michelle Gellar fans, been loud enough that she has felt all of the support that we have thrown her way for this project and for her return, that she'll be motivated to do more, right? Because I'm not ready for her to leave screens. I'd love to her to see her be in movies, you know?
Yes.
So I hope she feels, supported. Sarah, we watched all of 8 episodes, okay? Do a movie. Give us a movie.
Like, I do hope this is like her being like, all right, maybe I'll do some more genre stuff. Cause like, well, us genre queers fucking love her and adore her. Like, do a horror, like she deserves a horror movie where she's a fucking final girl and she gets to live. Like,
I'm telling you, Mike Flanagan, get in touch with Sarah Michelle Gellar, please.
God, keep your wife in it. They could be a married like older couple. Like, great, I love it. Like,
I mean, we got Do Revenge. You never know. Maybe we'll get something else. I mean, it does look like she's supposed to have one other thing come out.
I just don't want another I don't want another 7 years of her announcing a project and then Ellen gets shit on and decides not to do it ever again, right? Or like
I forgot about that one.
I feel like we had 3 projects.
What project was that?
She teamed up with Ellen for some shit and they just like never talked about it again. But that happened like 3 times. And I just am ready for Sarah Michelle Gellar to be back.
Yeah.
Because also I will say, like, at my day job, I like the thing I did that I brought to them was like, Sarah Michelle Gellar does really well on the internet. Can I do lists of her? And they're like, sure. The first list I did on Sarah Michelle Gellar is one of my best performing things at work. She is very popular. Like and that's, I feel like, pretty impressive for, like you said, Zach, she took like almost like a full 7-year break. That's pretty impressive to still be that beloved, having not done as much, honestly, probably voluntarily. Like, I don't think it was that she was trying to get work and people weren't casting her, because I can't imagine not wanting to cast her. But like, I don't know. She brings an audience. She like brings hype, right?
So like, if this didn't get a second season, what would each of you want her to be in for her next project?
Well, I mean, there's still so much, we don't know what's really going to happen with this. I know what she did last summer, upcoming film, but if they were to retcon anything, I don't know. I would love to see her back in that universe.
All they would need to do is take out the one shot of her on ice, re-release the movie in anticipation of the new one, right? With that shot removed. And that would be in our consciousness. That would be the official version.
You don't even need to do that. I mean, look what happened with Halloween 2018. They rewrote history. All they need to do is be like, hey, we're back. Julie's a hardened, I don't know, somebody who can act.
Investigator.
And, we got Helen Shivers. She was actually the final girl. And I don't know. They could do something. But I would love to see her just in more horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, horror or more mommy roles. Like, give me more Lady of Authority, putting her foot down, snarky.
She's very good at that too.
Yes.
Like,
oh my God, can we get a new Murder, She Wrote?
her?
I mean, something like that. I would love to see her in a mystery. And like be that lead character who's always solving the crimes. That would be fun.
Make it a little, if it's a murder mystery, make it a little slashery, and then I'm on board.
There you go.
Make it like a new Harper's Island.
I've only heard that. I never watched it though.
Oh, Jesus. You're my age. You should have seen this.
21? Yes, we are the same age. You're right. God. Well, I guess we are at the end. Let's all pick a favorite scene. Let's end on something positive. Zach, what was your favorite moment or scene?
I have 2 favorite scenes. I love this show so much. Sarah Michelle Gellar hitting boy with the flashlight, and then Sarah Michelle Gellar fighting at the end. I don't know if she's fighting a bad guy or a good guy. I really wasn't clear, but she was fighting somebody.
Ashley?
The fight scene at the end.
Yutaka?
Well, I'm gonna choose one just because it's my favorite scene because I laughed a lot. So because we didn't get a chance to bring this up, but Baron, when Everett is either seeing or dreaming, and Baron is just running at him.
Yeah,
I could not. I was like, "Wait, what?" And uncontrollable laughter. So, kudos to that scene for making me feel good.
It was kind of creepy though.
I was gonna say
it started creepy and then it became laughable.
I liked when he saw Phoebe's dead body and her mouth got a little too big, but not I thought that was because Zach, I think we said during our reaction for that we were like, well, we would be more into this if we weren't already clocked out.
I was where was this episode 3?
Because that was when they were leaning into horror, right? It's there's weird water pouring down the staircase for some reason. There's the dead girl screaming. That's good shit, but it was just I guess, I don't know.
Oh, I also loved this scene where Sarah Michelle Gellar was embodying Everett's mom.
Yes.
Because I think she fucking killed that. I knew exactly who she was supposed to be.
Yes. Zach and I were very confused during that part, and it's just but she did so good, and she looked good in that white outfit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ugh. I guess for me, I guess it was just such a big deal to build up to what episode was that? 4 or 5 when she kills the guy with the flashlight?
5.
That whole build up both ways, both in the Sarah Michelle Gellar bringing the security guard to his death, and then also the kids with the werewolf. Granted, nothing cool was done with the kids with the werewolf, but it was such a cool build up.
Yes.
It had me hyped, and I was like, fuck, this is good.
Listen,
we're gonna get good horror shit.
You're not sure if Austin just saw him. It was just a vision, right? And then all the kids look, and there's this fucking black animal in the pool. Yeah. And you can see the outline. It was good shit, man. That very next episode should have picked up with that wolf rampaging through that mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Through the fucking glass windows and doors. It was this is not gonna, they locked the door. I was like, it's all glass.
Yeah. It's almost why use all glass back patio scenario if you're not gonna
smash it,
glass,
yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You got a monster, you got glass, you got sexy teens. That seems like a pretty easy formula, right?
Mm-hmm.
But alas. But yeah, so I think all that build up, that definitely had me hype moving forward. I mean, then we started the next episode, but it excited me the most. That was the coolest shit. Also, I know I mentioned this also during our reactions. It was just cool seeing Sarah Michelle Gellar shot this way, right? It was cool seeing her shot with this budget, with the cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
I think of Buffy did the best they had with their budget, and she looked good in, I know you did last summer, but this was a 2023 set piece with a budget and cool lighting. And it was just cool seeing her in that. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do we want to give it a grade overall? Do we want to skip grading? That
seems cruel, Ian.
Yeah, let's skip grading.
It was a show.
There you go. And they got greenlit, they got money, everybody got paid, and we love production teams getting paid.
We do. And we love Sarah Michelle Gellar being booked and busy, being on all the talk shows. Yeah, I guess thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for listening. If you like Slayerfest 98, you can find us on social media at SlayerFestX98. You can find us on all podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and even YouTube. And if you want to support us, you can find us on Patreon, where we're covering Harley Quinn season 3 and do little bonus episodes. I have my Nudie Judy sex and relationship talk videos. Zach has done plenty with me. And if you want to follow me, I am at ENX Carlos. Yutaka, where can everyone find you and your show?
At the Horror Hour TV on Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube for all your gutted and rotted content.
And Ashley, where can everyone find you and your show?
If you are a fan of Heartstopper, I do a podcast called Why Are We Like This? And we're on all podcast platforms. And we're on all social media at Why Are We Cast. And if you want to follow me, you can find me on Twitter at MythTaken314.
The best Buffy pun name. Zach, where can everyone find you and your shows, one of which you do with your friend you love so much, Ian?
Little whore. Well, the show I do with Ian Carlos Crawford here, host of Slayerfest 98. You can search My Bloody Judy and you can find us. I do a show with my husband all about pop culture and like little hot topics. You can search Coffee and Tequila for that, and you can just search Adventures of Zach and B if you want to find just me.
All right, everyone. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.